Hi guys, and welcome to our very first YouTube vlog. I'm Jenna and this is my horse Trusty, and we are hopefully going to show you some of the adventures we go on whilst we go out eventing, training, a little bit of show jumping and dressage mixed in there with it. And I thought we'd take you today to some show jumping at Allens Hill and show you how we pack the lorry up, what we get up to, hopefully some footage of the show jumping, but I am going on my own today, and we'll take you along and show you all of what we get up to. So we'll do a bit of a lorry tour. I know everyone seems to really like that. So this is a 3.5 ton coach built lorry that I bought last year. It replaced my 7.5 ton lorry, which was getting a bit expensive to upkeep. So this spent most of last year actually going backwards and forwards to the vet, as unfortunately Trusty was had a small niggly injury, so we spent time going backwards and forwards for leg scans. Luckily that's completely minor and completely healed up now, so we'll take you inside. We've sort of half packed up this morning. I've just got tack and things like that to put on. So it is built for 2 horses, but obviously we'll only take 1 due to the weight. I've got a lutein at the back. It needs some doors putting on it. Unfortunately my camera wires are casually just hanging down, but yeah, we'll put some doors on that and then we'll be able to use that. I can't really use it for storage at the minute because it hasn't really got a protective it hasn't really got anything to stop anything falling out, so that would end up falling on my horse in there, so that's not very helpful. But we'll get some doors on that and hopefully that'll improve that. We've got a couple of lights either side, window in the back, vent in the top, obviously windows front, well sort of the horse front as it were, that slide down with bars on. I've got the bar in as well. I think with these lorries we always run the risk, don't we, of horses jumping over into the living, so this bar is quite helpful because you can change the level that it's at, so that works really well at the minute. Got the bungee so for safety, and then the hay tie up goes underneath, and then in the back, as I say, we're half packed up at the minute. I've got another light there, so it's a great lorry because there's loads of stuff already in it when we bought it, and then I spent most of yesterday putting some more hooks up to use. So all my numbners live in my Mark Todd bag, so that's got all my white numbners with all my supporters. I've got a little hanging Mark Todd bag there with sort of bits and pieces in it. It's my bits and pieces bag. I've got bridle numbers there, platin bands. I've got absolute abundance of platin bands. When I sorted this lorry out yesterday, I couldn't believe how many platin bands I had. Spare vet wrap. What else have we got? Magnet tray for studs, Vaseline, all important mints, spare tail bandage just in case I forget, some naff lavender wash for after riding, pens, paracetamol, all sorts of things that I've probably got elsewhere in the lorry as well, but it just means that I know that I've got extra stuff there. Then I've got sort of cleaning equipment, so that was all used yesterday because this whole wall was covered in horse snot unfortunately, so I had a good clean out yesterday and a tidy up. Got a massive big first aid kit on here. This was luckily made up for me by some old friends of mine from Hemel, and got pretty much everything in there. This is kind of my yard and my travel first aid kit. It just lives in the lorry all the time. So we've got some Butte, there's some poultice if I need that, some melalin, away tape casually. I don't think I need that while I'm out and about, but yeah, tons of vet wrap. Obviously you can never have too much vet wrap. Wound cream, a thermometer, always really important to have. And then there's sort of the leftover bits from things that he's had previously. So he had a bit of mud fever, so there's some sulfur cream in there, some sticky plaster bandage, which is really good, zinc oxide tape, silver spray, Epsom salts. So yeah, so like I say, this is kind of my on yard and off yard. Some rubber gloves, they're always really helpful as well. On yard and off yard first aid kit in a great little case that I got given, which is ideal really. It's perfect and it keeps it all nice and tidy. I've just purchased a Hey Tidy bag, I think this is, from Online for Equine. Basically, because as you can see, my horse sits here and all my stuff sits here, you can imagine hay goes absolutely everywhere. So I've bought this just to try and keep it a bit tidier. Whether it works or not, I don't know. Today will be test day for that. And then everything is sort of kept in boxes as much as I can, purely because it ends up being a bit of a mess and gets hay everywhere. As I say, it sort of blows in with all the windows being open and stuff. So this is the sort of horse kit box. So I've got the Woofwear ice boots. As I said, Trusty had a very minor check ligament strain last year that we, because of COVID, spent pretty much all year rehabbing him from that. We took it all really, really slowly because there was absolutely no point trying to get back for anything really, because the season was so short. So we found that it was easier to just get time and effort into making sure that it was completely healed, and one of my investments was the Woofwear boots, kindly suggested by Life on the Left Rein, Tina Wallace. She kind of got me onto these. I think they're really, really great because I've got 4 sets, so I've got front and backs. Ideally for him, he wants to just have them for the front, so my idea is that I've got plenty if I want to be able to double up and do 2 lots. So I'll show you how those work. So I've opened this one up, and as you can see, the whole boot is actually made of the other side of Velcro. So they come in one size, but they'll fit anything. So they're really versatile in that respect. You don't have to worry about the sizing. They fit like a sports boot, so they wrap round the fetlock. And then on the inside, whoops, there's one that's just fallen out. They have these little gel packs, so you can use these hot or cold. I obviously mainly use them cold, and they go in where they wrap round the leg. So you can see there, instead of going, I think Tina said the old ones used to sit like that and like that, so they'd sit almost either side of the leg, and I think these are much better because this literally encases the tendon. So yeah, so I've got obviously a set of them today. You can see those are the empty boots, and they're sitting in an ice pack in an ice box even in my car, so they're nice and cool for later on when I go show jumping. So back to the box. I can't actually remember what's in here. We've got some spare lead ropes. You can never have too many lead ropes, can you? Got some leather blinkers. I had a horse before that I used them on, but I think they're quite useful to keep on the lorry, just in case I feel that I need those. Trusty's brilliant to load, but I have my little loading contraption. This sits behind, round the head collar and works like one of those Monty Roberts head collars, but a little bit on the cheap. Spare reins, always important to have some spare reins just in case there's ever a tack malfunction. And then just his little show rugs as they were, so that's a half and half sweat and cooler, and then his equine product sheet as well, which he tends to travel in. I've got my whiteboard. This one's a little bit naff actually. It was supposed to be sitting on the outside, where underneath the mirror, but I haven't quite figured out how to get it to stay up yet. So that's living in here at the minute. So we'll pack that box up and I'll take you around the rest of the lorry. So as I said, that's my cleaning stuff. It's got all sorts really. All important wet wipes. They are most important, especially for the sweaty cross-country days. Some bin bags, some WD-40, which is always useful, and obviously some cleaning cloths and things like that, just to try and keep the place tidy. Got 2 water carriers. These are old Lickit, I think. Are they Lickit ones? Taste like cherry flavour. Well, fortunately for me, my yard owner's brother used to work at NAF, so he always ended up with spare containers he could bring home, and we use them as water carriers. I've got some haylage on here just in case Trusty decides that he's not much of a fan of the hay that I put on and he wants a bit more, so always make sure I've got plenty of water, plenty of haylage wherever I'm going, just in case I have more for if I have a breakdown than anything else. Most venues are really cool now, and they have access to water especially, but I always make sure I've got plenty on just in case I run into any trouble. My very trusty mountain block. This was from IKEA. It's better than the fold-up ones. I find the fold-up ones I just break all the time. Skip out bucket. It's actually an old recycle bucket before recycle bins came in. Use these to put poo in. Deck chair. For some reason I've only got 1 deck chair. I did have a few, but they seem to have done a runner. Brush on the bottom as well for sweeping out. And then I've got my half pads and my fly veils all sort of live in this bag. These bags are great. They're the Premier Equine Numner bags, but they're brilliant for just putting stored stuff in. My Acapella pad desperately needs washing. That'll be the next thing to do. We've got a seat cushion that I've just used there. It's just an old patio cushion that we're using at the minute as a little seat that's folded up there. We've got the Dublin hat. I'll just move you and we can go through all of these boxes. So I thought I'd turn you round so you can see everything. This is my FOMO Phase back protector. I'm really lucky to be supported by FOMO, and they have provided me with their new Phase back protector. It's got a really good system on it for making it fit you. So once it's on, you turn this dial and it will tighten up to your body shape basically. It all undoes. As you can see, the front comes off. They're starting to bring out some new coloured covers now so that you can get khaki. There's a high vis one coming out. There's also a taupe that I really like as well, like a grey colour. But I obviously had it in black to go with my, well, it did go with my cross-country colours, but I've kind of changed my cross-country colours, so black goes with everything, doesn't it? So it always works. But yeah, so as you can see, it literally all comes apart so that you can put it on. I actually wore it on a cross-country course for the first time the other day, and it was really, really comfortable. One of the things I found with this, my previous back protector, which I'll grab out as a comparison, let me just move this. Oh gosh, I've been very, very organised. I'm not usually very organised. I'm usually in a bit of a mess, and now everything is a bit too tidy. But yeah, so I used to have a race safe, which is here. I obviously just keep extras on here because they're out of the way. As you can see with the race safe, compared to the FOMO, the race safe's quite thin. And a lot of people, certainly myself included, and I don't think FOMO will mind me saying this, but a lot of people might be a little bit put off by the fact that it is a bit chunkier, like the foam is a lot thicker. And I thought that when it first came, I thought, oh my gosh, I've gone away from thick back protectors, and I'd been used to having my race safe, which was really quite thin, and there wasn't really much to it, and it was really lightweight, and I enjoyed my race safe because it felt more comfortable. And I thought, oh, is this going to be a bit too chunky? But once you've got it on, it's really, really comfortable, and that's not just me saying that at all. It is really comfortable. I wouldn't wear something, you know, I have a perfectly good back protector there. I would go back to that if I preferred it, but I actually prefer this one. It's really comfortable. It moulds to you. The foam, as you can see, it's almost like memory foam. It squishes as you do it. I don't know if you can see that, but it does. It moulds around you. It's not like those old back protectors of yore that used to be like wearing a solid board around you. These are really, really comfortable, and it moulds around you, and when you're riding you barely realise you're even wearing it. So that's really, really great. I'm really pleased with that. So that brings me on to this box. Just chuck that over there. Let's move that out the way. So this is kind of my kit box. So I've got gloves. I bought a new stock. I've always had pre-tied stocks, and I always think they look a little bit rubbish. So I decided this year that I was going to buy a proper stock and be a grown-up and learn how to tie a stock properly. As you can see, it's not out of its package yet at all. But yeah, hopefully I shall figure it out. So if you've got any tips, leave a comment below and let me know how the heck I'm going to get this on and how the correct way. It's got instructions on the back, so I'm hoping I can just follow those. But I've got my show jumping hat. So I have a Champion, I think it's the Pearl Puissance hat. So I've got that. That's my fixed peak that I use. It's quite comfortable actually. I'm quite surprised because I've always been a Charles Owen girl, and I decided to go with this one this time round. It's the leather look, as you can see, with the silver vent in it. But actually the Champion ones are starting to fit me a little bit better now, so I'm quite pleased with that. So that lives in there. I've also got, I have got my trusty Charles Owen. I went straight back to Charles Owen for a school cap. And this is, remember now, the J3 jockey skull. So I have one of these that I ride in every day for at home, obviously. And then I sort of thought, do you know what, if I'm wearing that one every single day, when I go out, when I go schooling, cross country, or I go for competitions, or even like jumping lessons sometimes, I thought I need something that I know is going to be well up to standard, and I think it was better to have a bit more of a newer hat. Obviously I change my hat regularly to make sure that it is safe and I'm not wearing something that isn't of standard, but I just think wearing something every single day, it's a bit smelly as well and a bit sweaty, so I've got something a bit fresher to wear when it really counts. Obviously like competing and things like that, you're putting yourself at more risk. Schooling, I'm not doing cross-country schooling at home. We're not lucky enough to have cross-country jumps at home. So I just wanted to make sure I had something. And it looked a bit smarter. Obviously, the ones you wear every day, they get a little bit grubby looking, don't they? So I've got something smart for that. I have got... Oh, so this is spare medical armbands because I keep changing my dress. And some, I've got a Cavaletti jump saddle, so I've got some stickers to put on that as well. I've got the new badges that you can get on the stirrup leather catches and the back of the saddle, and they sent me a couple of spare bits for that in case they start coming off. And then my folder of dressage tests as well, so that all lives in there. Put those gloves back in, that back in, put my back protector back in. And then I've got like 3 riding hats on here. It's a little bit excessive, isn't it? But this one's just my velvet one. I bought it to do some showing actually, but now it just gets used for the dressage phase and some of the single dressage that I do in the meantime. As I say, a little cushion goes on there. I've also got, just to be extra safe, 0.2 air jacket, so that lives in there. That's black as well. That goes over the top of my back protector, so when I go cross country I wear that, and I actually always wear it show jumping as well now. I just wear that on its own. What else have we got in the box? I've got my bib for eventing. I've got reusable numbers, they're Bibby's ones. So I bought this last year when they said that you had to start printing numbers off. I don't have a printer, so I bought that to make life easy, and I think it's going to be easier than trying to get paper numbers in and out. I hate that. It's one of my biggest bugbears when I go eventing. It really stresses me out, and I have to get somebody else to do it because I just get angry with it, and I'm just like, I just need this number to go in. So that's that. Plenty of spare canisters in case I set my air jacket off. A couple of spare Allen keys as well to be able to do that. A spare saddle strap as well. And then all of, well, my medical armbands. I've got two of those. I think I've picked up something else. Oh, I picked up the guarantee. Whoop. 2 medical armbands, just in case. And then I've got my 2 cross-country hat silks. So I've got, my Forces Equine one, which is multicoloured, and then this was my original, very much original, back in the day, a long time ago, original cross-country colours. I used to wear that with a black tread step base layer, but I've actually got a white base layer now that I generally just wear with a black hat, or I've got a FOMO white hat silk with a black bubble, I think, on it, which is at home. That's not living in here at the minute. I just need to come in here actually, because then it would be in the right place, because everything lives in that box, so I know exactly where it is. Underneath that, I have got my studs. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. It's just in a Stanley box like everybody uses. But yeah, we'll do maybe a stud kit video when I go eventing, but I've got quite a lot now. I seem to just collect studs. Every time I go to anything like badminton or Hickstead or anything like that, I always try and buy some spare studs. I have to just try and remember what I've got already though. And then finally, oh no, not finally, I've got my whips. So one long, one short, permanently stay on the horse box so that I know that I've got them. And the last box is my boot box, and I shall show you those. So we've got all Lamia jumping boots for show jumping. So I've got the ballistic no turn over reach boots for the fronts. I've then got the, I think these are the Derby tendon boots. I was lucky enough to actually win these, but they've been fantastic boots and I would highly recommend buying them. I definitely get another pair when these are worn out, but they're the Derby jump boots. So the Velcro fastening and good hard shell on the outside, and vented as well. You can see the little holes where they've got the vents in them. So they've been fantastic boots. They fit really well as well. I always find with tendon boots, I've got a horse with slightly chunkier legs, and I find tendon boots are really hard to get, that not going to cut the circulation off on the front of his cannon bone. So we've got those fetlock boots to match that are double taped at the back, so they're nice and secure. So there are show jumping boots, and then I've got, oh, they're a little bit grubby, these need a wash. The Magic cross country boots. I invested in a pair of these last year. I was lucky enough to be allowed to try some out whilst I was at my old yard in Hemel. Absolutely loved them. They are the best cross country boots by far as I'm concerned. So I invested in a pair last year while they were in the sale. Best time to do it. But yeah, they are, the fronts are double taped, the backs are triple taped. They fold over, like they mould around the leg is what I'm trying to say. Mould around the leg really well, and they lose water really quickly as well. So when you go through the water jump, you're not carrying a ton of water on their legs. They drain really quickly. You can see that when you wash them off after cross country and things like that. You hose them off, pick them up, and they drain straight away. So they're fab. And then I've got some woof wear over each boots. Now these do look a little bit tatty, but I absolutely love these for cross country because they're rock hard. They're really, really hard on the outside. They've got fantastic, I'm not quite sure whether you'll see that, but they're fantastic thick material. They're the no turn again, so they've got that piece that fits into the heel. And they've been really, really reliable for cross country. I'm not quite sure whether they sell them anymore. And they've got this nice thick piece round the top so that they don't rub, because obviously if they're getting wet, muddy, and then dry or sandy or anything like that, I don't want them to rub. So these have been really good cross country over reach boots, and they'll probably stay cross country over reach boots until they absolutely die a death. So I keep those. Also in here I've got the Green Ice Gel. This is Equine America stuff. This is something I was introduced to when I first started eventing with a girl called Sophie. She used this a lot and I really like it. It's like putting on ice tight, I suppose. But I like this because it doesn't make such a mess. Like, I quite like the clays, and I might move over to the clays once this is finished. But I quite like this because I feel like I can put this on. I can put a travel boot over the top, and the travel boot doesn't then get covered in clay afterwards. So these are a little bit easier to use. I've got my cross-country stopwatch. I need to check that that still works actually. It doesn't need a new battery. Spare sweat scraper, as I say, I've got spares everywhere on this lorry just in case. And then obviously a bit of electrical tape in case I want that for the boots. So that's the boxes, and then there's just one last section to show you, and then we'll sort out getting the tack on, because we're running to schedule for once. Normally I'm running late, but we're running to schedule today. So I'll show you one more bit and then we'll go and put some tack on. So this is the last bit to show you. This is the tack locker bit. I love this bit of the lorry because I can access it from outside as well. So it's not a separate tack locker as such, but I can access it from the outside. I don't have to come traipsing in. So we've got wash bucket, with a sponge and a sweat scraper. There's a feed bucket on the top, and I keep in one of these buckets in here. Keep some fast fibre in there on the lorry at all times, so that if I need to encourage him to drink, I can give him a sloppy fast fibre. Show head collar. This is the KM Elite leather and nylon head collar. Again, inspired by Tina Wallace. I saw her put it on Banksy and I thought that's actually really smart without being a full leather head collar. So I invested in one of those. It was actually my Easter egg from my mum. Instead of having an Easter egg, he got a really smart head collar for show, so that was cool. The hooks in here will have obviously the bridle and the saddle on. I've got two saddle hooks in here so that I can put my dressage on my jumping on when I go eventing. And then I keep a couple of spare bits. I've got a snaffle and a Cheltenham gag in there that I'm trying at the minute. I actually haven't put the Cheltenham gag on him because I haven't needed it. It was just something I thought about the other week when I was finding him a bit strong, but things seem to have calmed down a little bit. But they can live on the lorry just in case I need any extra brakes. Martingale attachment for his breastplate. I've actually took his martingale off recently because he's been jumping better without it, but I keep it on the lorry in case I feel that I need it at some point. Obviously eventing, I can change my mind, so if I feel like I'm going to need it cross country, it's here, it's on the lorry. And then up top I've got some citronella wash. Again, I can use that to wash him off afterwards. Some Farrier's solution by NAF as well. I love this hoof oil, it's absolutely brilliant. This is, it says relax me calmer, but actually it's a tub of treats. Hibby scrub, just because it wouldn't fit in the first aid kit. Spare sort of batteries and bulbs and stuff for the lorry in that bag at the back. And then my grooming kit, which is far too vast to go through now, so we'll probably do that on another vlog. But yeah, it's the Noble Outfitters grooming bag, which is brilliant because it's full, absolutely full. So yeah, we'll go through that when I've got a bit more time to show you. I might do that. Yeah, we'll do that another day, I think, just to give us a bit more time today. So we're going to go and get the tack, load that up, fill up some hay, take the hay bag with us, go and fill that up, give the pony a brush and get him loaded and get on our way. Okay, so hopefully you can see the tack as I've just loaded it. I've got my Cavaletti girth and jumping saddle. This is the Atherstone girth. I am very kindly previously worked with Cavaletti on their range, and I bought this jump saddle as an ex-demo saddle, so got it with a little bit of discount, but it was absolutely pristine condition. I'll just show you. It's all been freshly cleaned this morning, so you're very lucky. As I say, this is the little extras you can have put on now, so I decided to have this one. Unfortunately, I lost a little black one when I was jumping, so they very kindly sent me some new ones out so I can replace it. These are my new Pravin Cellier, the thick leathers. These were inspired by Megan Elphick. She bought some for cross country and jumping, and I watched a video of her at Lincomb actually, and her leg didn't move at all through the jumping session, even when she had some big jumps and things like that. So we're giving those a try. They've been really successful so far. I've got these flexi stirrups. They're actually just from Amazon. I don't have anything particularly expensive or smart if I can help it. If they do the job, they do the job. And I've had these for years. I actually bought another pair for my dressage saddle, so that I had two. And these are a little bit older now, so I'm probably going to buy some new ones as my show ones, and these will be my everyday ones. I've already got my air jacket. This stays permanently attached to this jump saddle actually, so that it's there ready if I need it. And then on the back, you want to be able to see just quickly. Oh no. There you go, that's what the back cantle pad looks like as well. So they're quite smart to have on. You can personalise them. I think they also do personalised ones now, so you can ask to have certain something on there. So and then his jump bridle, I'll show you out here. Actually, I put some new hooks on here so that I could do some tackling in and stuff when I'm at shows. Stuff can hang outside. So this is his jump bridle. It's a Paul Schockmöller bridle, flash bridle with a crank nose band, and I jump at the minute in a 2-ring Waterford with some bit rubbers on and some roundings. That seems to work show jumping at the minute, so don't break what isn't broken. No, don't fix what isn't broken. Get it right. He's got a breastplate. This is a Shire's one. It's just a hunting jumping breastplate, regular D-ring attachment with it, and of course I have a neck strap. Don't go anywhere really without a neck strap now. The breastplate obviously fits quite close to the saddle, so I think it's quite good to have something extra. It does end up, it looks like he's wearing a huge amount of equipment, but actually it's not that much. So we'll put all that back in. I'm going to fill some hay up, actually give the horse a brush. He's just having a bit of lunch, and we'll be on our way. So it got a little bit hectic and we were running out of time. So I am now here. I'm at Allen's Hill. We've got about 10 minutes before course walk, so it was timed quite well. Journey was really good. So just to explain what we're doing, we're at Allen's Hill today, myself and Trusty, and we are doing the 85 centimetres and the 95 centimetres. This is our first show jumping back since last year. Quick sort of recap on what happened last year and what's happened up until this point, just while we've got a bit of time. So last year, Trusty had a very minor check ligament strain. So we don't know what caused it or anything like that. It just came up overnight. He just had a little bit of swelling to the leg. Never had any lameness whatsoever all the way through. And we just decided that it happened in, I think it was June, yeah, because we bought the Lorry a year ago today, because it came up on my Facebook memories, and literally the next day it was, no, it wasn't the next day, sorry, I tell a lie. It was literally a couple of weeks later though, because the Lorry went into PRB for a little bit of coach work, and then the day I brought it home, the very next day, he came in with this swelling on his leg. It was just, he was in overnight, he had a little bit of swelling. It was scanned and he literally had the smallest inflammation really. The only thing we could find on the scan was that a pocket of air that was in the tendon, that's like space between the ligaments, was slightly less on one side than the other. So we decided that because it was so late in the season, because it was it would have probably been July actually, because of COVID and because of what was going to happen, and the fact that, you know, it certainly wasn't going to be worth rushing anything, we basically decided to come up with a plan that he would have the rest of the year off and just do very slow rehab. So he had about a week's box rest before he had the scan. He then had the scan. He had another week box rest before he went back to the vets, just to double check that there wasn't a banged splint or a raised splint or any lameness or anything like that. So he went back, trotted up, flexion tests, all that sort of thing, absolutely 100% sound. Just this unfortunate bit of swelling, and just to err on the side of caution, as we all know how precious their legs are and how delicate tendons are, we decided to just do the full rehab that you would do for any sort of proper tendon injury. So he did about, oh gosh, he did a good couple of months of in-hand work where he was just walking. He then started very low-level ridden work, sort of walk and trot, built it up, and then he was given the all clear in February, and we were sort of starting again. Sadly, then in April, the very start of April, just as I was getting really going and we were starting to put in for cross-country and one-day events, things like that, I had a really sort of unfortunate fall off another horse, complete fluke accident, and ended up breaking my collarbone. So we aren't doing too well. So I ended up with having a good few, I had about 7 weeks off with the broken collarbone. So yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare. And so we're just starting up again. Fingers crossed everything will go well now. So I will take you on the course walk round Allen's Hill. I've then got to come back. I've got to clean my boots because I haven't actually managed to do that yet. So I'll do that. And then I'm jumping at about 2:40. So it is 20 past 1 now. Course walk at 25 past 1. They're giving you about 15 minutes to warm up. So I've got to be on for, I'll do my maths now, 25 past 2, 25 past 2. Yeah, 25 past 2. And that's it. So yeah, sorry, I'm just checking. Somebody was coming in and I was like, no, don't park there because I need to get the ramp down. So yeah, so I'll take you on the course walk and we'll go from there. So the moment of truth to see if the hay bag worked. Hello. It's always so happy to see you. It doesn't actually look like you've eaten anything. Have you just been nosying all the way? Because you are a bit of a nosy. You've not actually been here before, so new venue, nothing like causing issue. Oh, your haylage fell over. That's not very helpful. Are you ready for this today? Not very impressed with that probably because there's not really much space in it. But you're gonna be okay while I go and walk the course. You stand there. So the course was really quite nice for the 85 centimetres. Just a shame that I jumped the first fence the wrong way round. I'm not quite sure how I managed that. But as you can see, it's all quite straightforward. A couple of decent fillers in there and some good doubles. Quite a lot for Trusty to look at, so I'm quite pleased because it was still a bit of a training round for him, just so that he'd seen yet more fillers, different coloured jumps, different styles of turns. But yeah, really nice course to get round. So course all walked. It's quite a nice course actually. A little bit of turning back, nice enough fillers, a lot of stuff that Trusty won't have seen before. So I'm just giving my boots a wipe over because I totally forgot to do that. And yeah, we're just looking really for him to have some experience today. We're not here being really competitive or anything like that. I'm not too sure I'm going to get any video of my round because, as I said, I'm on my own. But yeah, hopefully it'll go well and we'll let you know how we got on afterwards. Really excited to be back out. Just happy to be out, to be perfectly honest. We had such a rubbish year last year that we weren't able to do anything at all besides a couple of training sessions at the start of the season before the injury. So yeah, we're really just pleased to be back out and having a nice time. Having a nice time? Yes. So yeah, so hopefully just a nice day, nice chilled, remembering everything that we've had. We've had some really good training sessions with Callum Banfield. So we've been working on our rhythm and our rhythm and speed, really making sure that the canter is forwards enough, making sure there's enough energy and power, making sure I'm looking up, making sure I'm not turning too early. So lots of things to remember. But yeah, hopefully all being well, we'll have a good day whatever happens. I've watched a few jump just to get it in my head, and Trusty's tacked up, he just needs his bridle on. I've got all my show gear on, so hopefully we'll get on, should be able to get into the arena just after 20 past. We're doing the 85 centimetres first. What are you doing with that hay net? That's horse. Yeah, we're doing 85 centimetres first, and then we've got a very short break for the 95 centimetres. So it's literally get off, bunging back on the lorry, walk the course of the 95, and then I think we've got about 20 minutes until we jump again. So fast and furious today. It'll be over quite quickly. We're just doing the 85 and 95 just so that we're getting back into it. So wish us luck. Sadly there won't be anything of the round, but if there's some nice pictures, hopefully we'll get some of those. So we've jumped both rounds, much better in the 95. It actually went the right way this time. I think we got 4 faults in the 85 and 8 faults in the 95, but I'm really pleased. I know where I went wrong with all of them. On the 85 I just didn't quite have him looking. It was right next to, there's like a commentary box, and it had big filled in fillers, like block fillers. So he was sort of backing off the commentary box more than the fence, and when I got to the fence I wasn't quite in balance, so we just knocked that in front. And then in the 95 there was a fence on a dog leg, and I had enough time to change leg, didn't do it, he came into it unbalanced, and I was already starting my turn. Oh, you're hungry? I was already starting my turn long before I'd sort of jumped the fence. I could have jumped the fence straight, given him half a chance, and then turned to do the double. And then literally the fence afterwards was a double, and he was just coming left. He did it in the 85 and he did it in the 95, and in the 95 he just had the second part of the double down because I just didn't get straight. So really chuffed, really happy, so pleased that we've managed to get out for another event. Basically been out jumping, got that under our belt, so hopefully it's all good training towards the next thing, which is going to be Oxtalls on the 4th of July, I believe. So in two weeks time. 2 weeks time to think about it. Yes, 2 weeks time. As you can see, very red faced, very hot. It's actually quite warm today, although it's very cloudy. It's quite close, so it was hard work wearing a jacket and being unfit. But I am absolutely chuffed to bits. Oh no! I was going to stroke your nose, you bully. Were you too busy with your hay? Too busy with his hay? Scared to death. He's had a wash off, he's got his ice boots on, so we're going to pack up and we're going to head home. So that is the end of our trip to Allens Hill today. Apologies for not being able to get any video footage of the rounds. Usually I've got somebody with me, but sometimes I have to go on my own, and I'm not quite brave enough yet just to ask a random stranger to video the round for me. Probably should have done, because Allens Hill were actually really quite friendly and approachable, and it's a really good venue actually, really low key. Everybody's really supportive, like the riders going in were amazing. Everybody was wishing each other luck and saying well done for good rounds, and yeah, it was a really nice day, really good to be back out. I will put some footage in here of the cross-country schooling I did the other day, just as an added little extra. I took him to Lincomb the other day with my mum on the ground, and she took some footage of the cross-country schooling we did. It was his first time back cross-country, so we just kept it sort of low fences, but sort of just made sure I'd asked all the questions just to see if there was anything I needed to work on. He was absolutely awesome. Like, I can't believe that he's had probably a full year since he went cross-country schooling last, and he only got out once cross-country schooling last year. So to come back and to absolutely boss everything was really, really amazing. So I am back at Oxtal's on Wednesday, hopefully, should it keep all its shoes on. They're nowhere to be seen, they've gone galloping off. So yeah, hopefully at Oxtal's schooling on Wednesday. I'll have somebody on the ground then, so hopefully we'll get some footage from that, and we'll put another vlog together for that. And then it's sort of on to the next bit. So we've got Lucinda Green clinic in just over a week's time. That's a 2-day clinic, and then we have got our first 1-day event. Oh my gosh, that's come around really, really quickly. That's at Oxtal's as well. So a little bit, the reason we're going schooling at Oxtal's on Wednesday is just so that he's been to the venue and he's seen some of the fences, because you don't know what they're going to use in the course, but sometimes they use some of the schooling fences. So at least he's been to the venue, he's had a look round, he's seen everything. We're going to go a little bit bigger, a little bit more technical, hopefully Wednesday, just to push the buttons a little bit. We're only entered into the 90 at Oxtal's, and I think we're going to sort of hang around that level for a little while. I've got Oxtal's the start of July, I've entered Barbury 2 weeks later, and then there's Waverton, which is a week after that. They're all part of the Cotswold Cup qualifiers, so we are aiming hopefully to try and qualify for the finals for that. So working on today, it's been great. It's been such an improvement from the last time I was out, certainly show jumping on him. Last year we had a nightmare winter that we just could not get together at all. So big thank you to Callum Banfield, who I've had 2 lessons with recently. He's really changed the way I ride the horse. I think I've got him up and fit now, which always helps, because he's not the scopiest of horses. He's quite conservative, so getting him fit means that he's got the ability to be able to get over the fences in the first place. A little bit rusty from me on the riding side of things, a couple of things I still need to work on, but definitely going in the right direction. So I'll put in the footage from Lincomb here, so you've at least seen some of us riding and jumping today, and I hope that you will follow me, subscribe, hit the bell on icon so that you get some notifications, and hopefully we'll keep this vlog lark up. And we will take you to Oxtal's schooling, and hopefully we'll get quite a lot of footage of the Lucinda Green clinic as well. So we might combine the two, might do separate vlogs, we'll see how we get on. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.